About a 7% grade here, better. Boy, somebody hit the wall right there. Give it a good one.
This lookout point to take a look backwards here. This is where we just came out of. Here.
An old valley there, just absolutely beautiful. Coming down the hill. See the road winding out in front of us. We want to go to Ingonish, eh?
Yep.
You don't want to go out on any of these end roads.
There it is. It's the Atlantic Ocean. Down the road.
Black Brook.
There it is. Lookout here, right in the park, Camp Breton Highland Park. And it's Black Bee Cove, I believe it is. Beautiful little lookout place. The waters, and this is the Atlantic Ocean right here. There's another gentleman just came down there from Alabama, and they're looking it over too. So and Dad's coming with her mama.
Up here it gets bitter cold. Hi there, Mom.
We have snow.
Yeah, you're going to get it, but
We have the southernmost, eastmost, and easternmost.
It's a pretty little place, and then we just come on around. I guess you can have your lunch or get you, and this is it. Oh, it's a beautiful little place.
well, once you put it on
There's a little waterfalls over there.
TV screen, then you see a lot more what to do with the eyes. Oh yeah.
Very pretty. Very beautiful.
So I charge
These
you.
folks are the ones from Alabama here that are looking at this too. So yeah, we got it. No, you can't see it otherwise.
Alrighty.
Nice talk.
That's right. There you go.
Oh, all along this way, it's so beautiful. Highland, Cape Breton Highland Park. If you look around, the wind's blowing out here. There's a lot of tourists among these rocks. It's gorgeous. Dad, way over there. Zoom that in a little bit. That's over there. Shots. Tell you how beautiful that is with those rocks protruding out into that Atlantic.
Just like going to the movies. Keep it on those trees.
Just a little bit here now. Okay, this is Ingonish, and these are the lobster traps. This town is where they're lobster, and there's the lobster traps, and there's the ocean. Ingonish, Nova Scotia. Oh, what a view. Beautiful area here in Ingonish.
Out here for the fishermen. Shoreline out in front of you before I make the turn here. Homes over across the bay. I imagine we'll probably be going over there. I don't know.
Church, yeah, church way off in the distance.
Some of these places have already closed up for the winter.
Another church.
St. John's Parish Hall.
St. John's Parish?
It's St. John's Parish Hall. This is a church up here.
There it is.
Lobster traps for sale, he says.
Well, we've seen some beautiful churches on this trip.
The church that lost half its steeple.
Yeah.
Is that way to me? Now there's a nice little picture over there, pleasant little setting.
Their crosses.
Just about every cemetery's got a Christ figure on a cross. Well, we're coming down into the corner here now. This should be pretty good. Put her on. Here she comes.
This is just a little bit out of Ingonish. We're on the Cabot Trail.
Going south now.
Going south.
We turn the corner. Like this gap right here, see? Right on the curve itself, because I ain't got nobody behind me. Now, right through that gap.
Yep, there you got it. Beautiful.
You lose a little filming. Or the pull.
We'll be stopping here and taking this shot here. Beautiful. Right on around. Beautiful cove in there. The villages over in there. Around here. It's gorgeous. Beautiful view. call it the Old Smoky. And we're going on down. What's coming up? This is the east side of it, going south, the Cabot Trail. You're looking at the Atlantic Ocean. The sun shining on it is just...
Can you see down the road here? There's a camper down there, just going around the road. Where we're going, way down there. You'll get a view of it right here in a moment. There, you're getting it on the camera now.
There it is. That's where we're going to be going?
Yeah, we're in low gear right now. We're going downhill.
Going right down there. Be over there in a little bit. Turning. Right around.
That's what they call a sweeping view.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going right into the water.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big puddle of water out there now, I'll tell you.
We're going to go over the edge of this.
It'd be an immense splash, though.
Beautiful.
Now you're going to get the shoreline as you come on around here now. Across the bay here. You're going to get more and more of it because we're coming on around the mountain now. You see more shoreline.
They call this mountain Old Smoky?
Oh, is that pretty? Is that pretty? Hey, get the shoreline to your right.
Flushing along here. Down below us. Beautiful. Oh, stay over here too. Where's it now? Straight across. Right in it. I'll tell you. This is along the Cabot Trail, yeah. That's your Atlantic Ocean here. Beautiful. St. Anne's on the Cabot Trail. Dogs are barking at me because they stepped out by this house. Beautiful. And here we are, back on the road. There's that little Winnie waiting to go.
Yeah, but you still got all the hills and everything to go with it, so it's still beautiful.
Yes, it is.
The chances of coming here again are kind of small.
Built like a lighthouse. The steeple is built like a lighthouse.
High and right. See the water out there. Pretty well gone already. Hey, might don't make...
Of Alexander Graham Bell. And the name of it is Ben Brow.
Ian Brow.
Ian Brow. Anyway, we'll have to look at his place from across when we get into back.
They'll keep showing up through the brush here. You keep your camera rolling a little bit. Here they come. Nobody fishing here today. They took a day off. Those are sailing boats, more so than they're fishing boats. Them are the ones they take out and just... The camera will shut itself down when it gets that far.
Into Breton, and this is where Alexander Graham Bell has got his amusement, and it shows all his achievements and accomplishments.
Museum.
Following summers. Over the years, they acquired directly across the bay from here a large peninsula which rises 240 meters from the water and stretches 3.2 kilometers out into the lake. Bill named his summer refuge Bain, pronounced
Ian Brow.
Ian Brow, for beautiful mountains. Alexander and Mabel enjoy the tranquility of summer day. In the background stands the lodge built in 1889. It's way up high.
He built an electric tuning fork sounder. This activated a set of tuning forks, chosen so that their individual tones blended into the sound of a vowel. They go on any complex shape. The idea for the telephone had been
graphophone. It's a machine. Okay.
Early model of a graphophone, built by Alexander Graham Bell.
So it's a machine.
View of the same. Looks like a sewing machine. Still encased in glass. It's a view of his working office. Or a good replica of it. He apparently was using canes towards the end to walk. Well, he's got a square and a few tools on his desk. Getting practiced up for our winter trip here now. But just a few words. Wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Andy, Rhoda. What you're looking at is our house, and that's Shirley. She's out there shoveling away. I'll take you across the street now and let's have a little closer view of her. Yeah, there she is.
Picture of our big Winnie over there.
Huh?
Picture of our big Winnie.
Oh. There's our little Winnie sleeping back there. See? With the snow on her face. The little one is, that's our big one. The little one's inside the shed already, and I got it on blocks. Now here's the side of the house by the driveway, and here's Shirley Ann.
Good morning, Rhoda and Andy. We think of you folks so much, and we just want you to get this film so we can renew the old times that we had while we were there in Port Elgin. We just enjoyed your visit so much, and thanks again for your hospitality. We enjoyed your books, Andy, very much, and we also...
I'm still reading.
And we enjoyed the trip to Cape Breton. We know what you were saying in their books and when you told us how beautiful Nova Scotia was. We had a nice snowfall here yesterday, so it's a winter wonderland this morning. We're trying to shovel out from it. Of course, I'm sure you had a lot of snow by this time too. We're getting ready for Christmas, and then after Christmas we're going to be going south till May.
Picture of the back of our house. There's a porch, breezeway, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, the wind is
Garage,
blowing.
there's Shirley Ann. There's the back end of our big Winnebago sticking out the back end over there. There's a wood shed and a keep all, and then there's another little truck box shed over there. Back here is just some pine trees, and way back there is our high school.
You won't find any dummies in our backyard,
Just
Andy,
2 of us.
except 2 of us. And we really enjoyed your film and your tour. Want to wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your
Yeah, God's
family and
blessings.
God's
May
blessings.
everything
And
be with you.
please write to us and keep in touch because we value you as dear friends.
Or better yet, come on to Wisconsin.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come to Wisconsin and visit us. And let me have my chance at making breakfast. It was truly beautiful.
Okay.
God bless.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We love you.
Bye-bye now.
savings on selected option packages. So now your Toyota dealer would like you out there to tell them to stop when you see what you like. That one? That one. Toyota Camry with at least $700 off the special edition option package. Atlantic Toyota dealers with big savings on special edition option packages.
For you.
Of course, we had to remove a lot of these regular jet seats to make room for our larger executive class seats. So you'll have more room to work and more room to sit back and relax. When business takes you away from the comforts of home, isn't it nice to know you have all the room of 2+2 seating and all the comforts of Air Nova's executive class?
The limited edition Ford Atlantic value packages are going fast. People are buying them for the 302 V8 power, the automatic transmission, cruise control, tilt wheel, AM/FM cassette, and much, much more. Most of all, they're buying them because at the limited time price of $16,495, they save over $1,800. But time and supplies are running out. See your Atlantic Ford Mercury dealer today before they're all gone.
The deadline has passed, and Lithuanians are waiting to see whether Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev will make good on his threat of economic sanctions. Gorbachev warned Lithuania to drop its demand for independence or face tough sanctions from Moscow. Lithuania has refused to back down, but the Lithuanian president has called for a meeting with Gorbachev. If he agrees, it would be their first meeting since the confrontation began last month. Jeremy Bowen has the latest.
The good news was that Lithuania suffered only the Soviet system's normal shortages today, at least according to its prime minister. The people in the petrol queues, though, were less certain. The Lithuanian government has complained it's hard to make proper contingency plans because the intentions of their Soviet suppliers still aren't clear. The Republic's top leadership, preparing their first response the morning after President Gorbachev's deadline ran out, found what they hoped might be a bright spot in his original ultimatum as well. The Prime Minister, Kazimiera Prunskina, pointed out it didn't explicitly demand they give up independence, so might form a basis for negotiation. They need a breakthrough. Until tonight, the Lithuanian president hadn't agreed to a direct approach to the Kremlin for 10 days. But perhaps without intending to, Lithuania's Moscow representative demonstrated why the argument is so hard to solve. President Gorbachev, he said, would never persuade them to give up their independence. The difficulty is that he hasn't given any clear sign that he will accept anything other than the abandonment of exactly that. During this dispute, both sides have said they'll talk. The problem has been that neither is prepared to negotiate away its fundamental beliefs. At this late stage, real compromise may be impossible to find. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News, Moscow.
The Yugoslavian Republic of Slovenia has voted out its Communist Party, and the new government says it will try to become independent. Slovenia borders Italy. The elections were the first multi-party elections in more than 50 years. A non-communist coalition took 55% of the votes. Rioting convicts set fire to parts of Strangeways prison in Britain today as they continued to defy police for the 16th day. They said they were retaliating against prison authorities whom they charged with beating prisoners who had surrendered. Authorities deny that and have been continuing their efforts to get the last 13 inmates to give themselves up. Paul Davis has more on the story.
Throughout the night and early morning, the rioters deliberately started a series of fires inside the prison. A large section of the jail's E-wing was alight. Firemen joined prison officers tackling the blaze. It's known the prisoners had ignited bonfires of smashed cell furniture and bedding. Their intention apparently not to burn the jail down, but to keep the authorities occupied and seize the initiative in this psychological war. The firefighters came under attack. One prison officer was slightly injured before fire teams entered the building to bring the blaze under control. This morning, one of the rioters was brought out of the jail on a stretcher. It seems he surrendered after breaking his ankle. The appearance of another stretcher case coincided with the announcement that a total of 3 prisoners had given themselves up and are now being examined by medical experts who fear there's been an outbreak of food poisoning among the rioters.
And we've been increasingly worried that they may be taking contaminated food or water.
As the prisoners who've surrendered were taken to hospital, the remaining rioters were being warned of the new danger they face. Paul Davis, ITN, Manchester.
Nelson Mandela will speak to nearly 1 billion people today. He'll be speaking from the stage of a rock concert in London, broadcast around the world. A concert organized to celebrate his release from prison in South Africa. It's expected he'll make a pitch for continued economic sanctions against South Africa, a call that puts him at odds with British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, someone he's avoided during his 2 days in London. Kevin Newman reports.
The 4-hour concert is being transmitted live by satellite around the world, with the notable exception of South Africa. It's that country's most famous opponent of apartheid that has brought the musicians together. They will pay tribute to Nelson Mandela in music, then listen as he takes the stage to deliver a speech. Canadian performer Daniel Lanois will be there.
I would think that he's got a few things to say with his kind of experience and having been away for such a long time.
These performers will be especially eager to hear what Mandela will say. They are South Africans living in exile in Britain. They hope Mandela will appeal to the world to keep applying economic pressure on South Africa.
To be able to ask those countries that are trying to lift the sanctions against South Africa to wait until we have settled the whole apartheid question.
Especially Britain, I guess.
Especially Britain, of course.
Britain's easing of sanctions against South Africa is the main reason Mandela will not be meeting any British officials on his visit here. But he has told one newspaper he will meet Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and other world leaders soon. For now, though, those leaders will have to be content watching Mandela on television from a platform that will give him an audience of almost 1 billion people. Kevin Newman, CBC News, London.
Coming up, it's all over but the crying, and the Flames general manager still says he was robbed. Bats in your belfry? The Prince Edward Islander can solve that problem. There are more reports of UFOs in the skies over the Soviet Union. The Soviet news agency TASS reports hundreds of residents in the Volga region saw something flying over them. Some people said the object was twice the size of the moon. Something also showed up on radar screens. Now, these reports follow a flurry of UFO sightings in Western Europe, which began on Friday. Well, you've seen the little Garfield cats attached to car windows. Well, one manufacturer has taken the idea one step further and is being criticized for doing that. Instead of Garfield the cat, it's a childlike doll, and its fingers are stuck in the window. Some people object to that use of pain and violence for humor. Linda Steele has the story.
It's called the Breton board doll, and it's being advertised as the latest in car window humor. This is what it looks like outside of the package. A life-size baby doll wearing an open-mouthed expression of pain. You're supposed to hang it by its fingers from the side window of your vehicle. The manufacturer calls it the funniest thing to happen to your car.
What do you think of it? I think it's cute.
But not everyone's amused.
I think it's terrible. I would never call my kids brats. And I think if you have children, then you treat them with respect, and that's very disrespectful.
Dave Brown works with abused children at the Family Services Association of Alberta. He doesn't think the doll is very funny either.
We know kids in pain are real, and it's not funny, however you want to look at it. So it's a shame that this kind of thing is produced. I think it exploits the worst side of people.
The Breton board doll sells for just under $15. You can buy one at any San Francisco novelty shop.
We tried to get in touch with someone at the San Francisco company to talk about the doll today, but all the store managers we contacted here in Edmonton said they weren't allowed to talk to the media. So we tried the head office instead, and again we were told there was no one available to comment. Linda Steele, CBC News, Edmonton.
As many as 100 people died today when a leaking gas cylinder exploded on a passenger train in India. Another 65 people were burned. The 16-car train was passing through Patna in eastern India when the canister exploded. And also in India, 50 people died of food poisoning following a village feast celebrating marriage engagements. 100 others were hospitalized. It's not clear what food was to blame. Details are beginning to surface concerning the continuing U.S. investigation into the death of a drug agent killed in Mexico in 1985. Enrique Camarena was found tortured to death, and there have been reports linking his death to Mexican government officials allegedly involved in the drug trade. Camarena was also the subject of a TV movie. The first suspect to appear in U.S. courts was arrested 2 weeks ago, but only now are some facts emerging. Henry Champ reports.
According to Mexican authorities, Dr. Alvarez Machane was kidnapped in Guadalajara by bounty hunters paid for by the DEA, flown to El Paso on April the 3rd, and then arraigned in Los Angeles on charges of murder, kidnapping, conspiracy, and racketeering. In court, the doctor said he had come to America to clear his name. In Mexico, a storm of protest is growing about what is seen as an American violation of Mexican sovereignty.
If the crime was committed in Mexico, it must be trial in Mexico.
Dr. Alvarez is said to be part of a ring who tortured and killed DEA Special Agent Kiki Camarena in 1985. Camarena's body was found on a Mexican farm. He had been severely beaten, apparently by gangsters and police trying to learn what the American government knew of Mexican corruption. A former high-level DEA official told NBC News Dr. Alvarez had been at the interrogation and administered drugs to keep Camarena from dying during the beatings. DEA agents have spent years trying to catch Alvarez. He is the first of 19 Mexicans indicted in the case to appear in an American court. Henry Champ, NBC News, Washington.
A study in New York has found that 1 in 3 New York prostitutes has the AIDS virus. The results are preliminary, but if they're confirmed, it would be the highest AIDS rate ever found among prostitutes in the United States. The figures were based on a 9-month study of 950 streetwalkers. The experts are alarmed because most of the prostitutes are mothers who may have passed the virus on to their children. And they're also concerned that they could spread the virus to their hundreds of clients. Movie fans and those in the industry are mourning and remembering one of the most provocative and mysterious figures in film history tonight, Greta Garbo. She died over the weekend, nearly 50 years after her last role. But even off-screen, people continued to be fascinated by the Garbo magnetism. Steve Futterman looks back on her remarkable career.
I didn't think you cared what happened to me. Anya, dearest, how can you say that? I love you. I love you, Anya.
During Hollywood's so-called golden era, in the 30s and 40s, she was one of its brightest stars. She was an actress who combined those two most important elements, magnetism and mystique. Greta Garbo's career began in her native Sweden. She studied at Stockholm's Royal Academy, then made 3 films in Europe. It was after that she came to America, and under the guidance of Louis B. Mayer, she became a worldwide sensation. She starred in 27 films, and there is no doubt her most famous line, almost prophetically.
I want to be alone. I just want to be alone. We want to be alone. We want to be left alone. Are you following me?
Among Garbo's most memorable films were Camille, Anna Karenina, Grand Hotel, and the 1939 comedy Ninotchka, a parody of Soviet-style communism.
Ah, here we are. There you are, and here am I. Feel it?
Of her career, Garbo suddenly quit. It only seemed to... Very little is being released about Greta Garbo's death. Funeral services will be private. For CBC News, this is Steve Futterman in Los Angeles.
Bruins are hurting, eh?
They are. You know, that's going to be a wild hockey game. I guess it's tomorrow night in Boston. There's lots of them.
We'll be right back. Stay with us, please.
Not only free automatic transmission on 323 hatchback and 323 Protégé. Not only free air conditioning on 626, MX6, RX7 at Mazda Trucks, but also the best warranty in the business. Mazda.
just feels right.
Our family is no different from yours. We work hard for our money. And buying a new home was a major financial decision. There's a lot you don't know about just how well built the home is. Well, there's no doubt in my mind about this home. This is a Ken Craft home. And when